I'm going to do this fast because there's a storm coming back that way. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I wanted to talk about AI again, but not in the shiny new demo way. Not the look at this thing, make a movie trailer and write a song and maybe replace everybody kind of way. I want to talk about the boring stuff because I'm starting to think the boring stuff might be the whole point. So let's get into it. I saw a few things a week ago that got me thinking. There's always another wave of AI news now. New tools, new agents, new promises about the future of work. And then I saw people in the over 50 Gen X retirement space asking more practical questions like, can this actually help me? Can this help me make better decisions, save time, or stay useful? And I get that. When you're 57, the future of work lands differently than it did when you were 27. At 27, it sounds exciting. At 57, it sounds like, okay, but how much future are we talking about? And do I need to create another login? But the more I use AI, I mean really use it and not just ask trivia questions, the more I think the value for people my age is not that AI helps us look young or helps us keep up with the kids. The value is that it helps us turn experience into action. That's a much different thing. A lot of us Gen X people grew up in this strange in-between world. We had an analog childhood and a digital adulthood. We remember phone books, paper maps, VCR clocks that would blink 12 because no one could reset it, and being told to come home when the streetlights came on. But then we had to learn email, smartphones, cloud software, online banking, Zoom meetings, and now AI. So we've been translating our whole lives. We translate old systems into new systems. We translate between generations at work. And I think that might be one of our hidden advantages in this AI moment. Not because we're faster, we're not. A 23-year-old can find a phone setting in 4 seconds that would take me 15 minutes. But speed is not the only advantage. There's a difference between knowing how to click around and knowing what the problem is that's worth solving. So that's where age helps. When I started first using AI for code, it was simple. It was writing little Python scripts, getting stuck, asking a question, copying an answer, changing things, breaking things, fixing things. It felt like having a smarter friend sitting beside me who could remember the syntax I couldn't remember. But then it shifted. At some point, it stopped being, help me with one piece of code and became, can you help me build the whole thing? I've talked about this before, front end, back end, automation. And the realization was this, maybe the hard part was never just the code. Maybe the hard part was knowing what needed to exist in the first place. Now, if you're around my age, you and I have spent 30 years inside systems that don't talk to each other, or using vendor tools designed by engineers for other engineers, or watching teams waste hours on processes that everyone secretly hates. You have a library in your head of real problems. You know where the pain is. You know what users actually do versus what the manual says they do. You know which report nobody reads. You know which tasks drain the life out of people because everybody just accepts. Well, that's how we've always done it. And now a regular person with that kind of experience can sit down with AI and start building something useful without waiting for a giant project team. That's not magic. It still takes work. It still breaks. You have to verify it. Sometimes AI is confidently wrong, but it's leverage. And I think people our age understand leverage better than hype. That's why I'm less impressed by AI as a party trick. I don't need AI to fake movie posters of me as a ninja or a Viking, although honestly, I probably clicked on that once. What I need is AI to give me an hour back in my day. I need AI that helps me keep track of something important before I forget it. I need AI that helps my family not miss a deadline, turns a messy process into a checklist, reads boring things and tells me what actually matters, or helps me build a simple tool because the official tool has 47 tabs and the one button I need is hidden under an advanced preference. That's the stuff that matters now, because at this age, time feels different. When you're younger, inconvenience is annoying. When you're older, inconvenience feels really expensive. So the question is not, can AI impress me? The question is, can AI help me spend my limited time better? That's a much more serious question. And that's why I don't think people over 55 should dismiss this too quickly. We don't have to chase every tool. We don't have to become AI influencers. In fact, we could use a lot less AI influencers, but we probably do need to learn enough to use it wisely. Not because the future belongs to the young, because the future may belong to people who can combine judgment with tools. And judgment is one of those things you're supposed to gain by living a while, not automatically. Age doesn't make you wise by itself, but if you've paid enough attention, if you've made mistakes, if you've had consequences, If you've raised kids or led teams or cared for parents or survived layoffs or watched technology cycles come and go, you do have something AI does not have. You have lived context. AI can summarize, draft, build, remind, research, and produce options, but it does not know what matters in your life unless you bring that to the table. That's the partnership. The machine brings the speed, but you bring the meaning. The machine brings the capacity, we bring the discernment. The machine can generate 10 ideas. You know which one would actually help your family, your team, your health, your customers, your retirement, or your peace of mind. And I think our generation has a choice here. We can look at AI and we can say that's for younger people and slowly let it become another place where we feel left behind. Or we can say, wait a minute, I have 30 or 40 years of patterns in my head. What if this tool can help me turn those patterns into something useful? Maybe it's not a startup or a side hustle. Maybe it's just a better way to manage your week. Prepare for a doctor's appointment, track paperwork, handle family logistics, or turn a 30-minute work process into a 3-minute work process. All of that stuff counts. Sometimes we discount small tools because they don't sound impressive. They don't like make millions of dollars. They don't get the views. But a small tool that protects your attention every week, that's not small. Over time, that's life coming back to you in little pieces. And that might be part of the retirement conversation too. We talk about retirement as money, and money matters, but there's also energy, mobility, attention, and health span, the ability to enjoy the years you work so hard to save for. So if technology can reduce friction and help us make better decisions, maybe learning it is not chasing a novelty, maybe it's stewardship. Using what's available to take better care of our work, our families, our bodies, our attention, our remaining years. That's why I keep coming back to this idea that AI resets what old means. Not because 57 is suddenly 27. It's not. My lower back will tell you that. But maybe 57 with tools is better than 57 without tools. Maybe experience with leverage is different than experience trapped in your head. Maybe the next chapter is not about competing with younger people on speed. Maybe it's about using tools to make wisdom practical. And that's encouraging to me because I don't want to spend the next part of my life just trying to keep up. I want to finish well. I want to build things that matter, help my family, teach what I know, simplify what can be simplified, and stop wasting energy on things that don't deserve it. And if AI can help me with that, then I'm interested. Not because it's flashy, because it's useful. So maybe the challenge is simple. Pick one boring thing, one process, one frustration, one repeated task, one thing you keep saying, there has to be a better way. And instead of accepting it, ask AI to help you think it through, not to replace your judgment, to extend it. That might be the most Gen X way to enter the AI age anyway. That's what I've been thinking about. I don't know if this resonates with you, but I'd be curious, what's one boring thing in your life that, if AI could help with it, would actually give you some time or energy back? Leave me a comment. I'd love to know it. Thanks for listening.